I've had it.
I've had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
Well, we managed 2 seconds of
Normally, before I start swearing, of course. Hey, it's obvious by now that this is never going to be PG.
You know how to censor it, though.
Yes. Huh?
This enemy ain't getting killed because I can't find him.
Oh, damn.
ION here.
Ahawa.
Hurrah. Let's skip the first 5 minutes.
let's just get this out of the way already. Get the Wazy lacism out of the way first. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, that's from Jimmy Carr. You suck. Not really. I'm not
making people feel bad since 1990.
Since 1990.
1995. Well, whenever the hell you was born.
Oh. I don't know when he was born. That's strange.
I was going to say, I don't know when I was born.
I can't remember my birthday.
When was I born? How old am I? Where am I?
I think that's how I feel every day now when I get up. As well as, Christ, I'm old because my back's so fucking achy and I'm like, ah!
Before you do the scroll of terror through news and Facebook and stuff. No, not that you use Facebook anymore.
Yeah, I just go on Google. It's not much better there, I'll be honest, but, yeah. There we are. It is beautiful.
You just mark things to go and I'll follow like a little lapdog.
Oh, no. No, that sounds awful. I'm sorry.
Ooh, I've never done one of these boogies before.
Ooh. Apparently I'm missing a box. One of the boxes is broken because I got shot while I was opening it, of course. So, that's glitched, but... It's not that box. Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, there's an enemy in there. How many times can I run you over?
Probably once. I'm
Once
gonna guess one good smack and then I'll be downed. And I'll be like, you need to revive him. Your friend seems to be hurt.
You up the other day.
Yeah, that's true. Hi, Robin.
Hello. I'm not answering for Robin then, I'll just say
just talk for her. It's confusing if I don't have an answer.
Hi guys. Oh god, there's a Snoopy.
Hello. Yeah, over by here. Little Snoopy Snoop up. Boom. How you doing, Robin? You doing good? Ah, I found that last box anyway. Right here.
I can't actually remember what the headset that I'm getting is called.
Ooh.
That's a great start.
It was just the first one I saw.
I just thought, oh, that's the first result that comes up on Amazon. There we go. Yeah. It must be good then.
That has to be good. It can't be bad. It's not possible.
It can't be bad if everyone's using it.
Yeah. Robin said, yeah, take a wild guess at what I'm doing at the moment. GTA. I'm guessing GTA, yeah. So you ever fucking play something else, Jesus Christ. No offense, I mean, if you love the game and stuff, fair enough, but fuck me, doesn't it get boring? That's nothing against, by the way, anyone that plays something.
You'd say the same about you with Assassin's Creed right now.
That's true, yeah. I played through 3 and now I'm playing through another one after. But I can admittedly admit it is boring as fuck. It's the same thing. It is just boring.
Yeah, can't imagine playing them all back to back. Like I need a year break between to like refresh my memory.
I'm half tempted to stop playing Rogue, but I'm sort of just pushing through it because it's a lot shorter. I'm just going for the story. I'm not trying to like get all the upgrades and stuff like that. Vic said eating custard. Robin said, "Lol, I probably will get bored of it. Eventually, this is the thing that I was doing with Destiny as well." Fair enough.
No liking it.
That tends to be the thing, though, isn't it? You tend to, if we start playing a game for the first time, life it for like the longest time, and then once you've played it for like a month, I do it as well. I'm guilty of it. I'm just
Guilty.
Guilty. You just lose it.
Yeah, we couldn't.
The place over there. It's a place over there. And then we'll go over to the missions and stuff.
Oh, I'm missing a box, I think.
There's a wall there. But yeah, hi Vic. Hope you're doing okay. nice parked place. I like it.
It's temporary. I don't see any yellow lines.
It's true. So there is no yellow lines. You are absolutely right.
Yellow lines don't exist in this world.
Yeah.
There's no parking, man.
There's no parking ban, there's no parking law. We will get started soon. You just sounded Irish then. I think that was the point. I think I was going for the Irish accent. I tend to fall into it quite often these days. It's very fucking weird, I'm not gonna lie to you. Any accents that you can do, Sean? Oh my god, what the...
Don't ask.
I can do a scouse.
I can do, yes, we'll go with Scouse.
Aussie's pretty easy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, get fucked. Look at that.
Having a Barbie down under.
Oh, I'm gonna come and touch your didgeridoo, I am, mate. That probably sounds awful, I'm sorry.
Trying to think of a good way to respond to that whilst using it. Wow, that's really nice.
If you fucking come near me, I'm gonna rip your fucking head off, I'll tell you that much.
You do a good Indian accent, but I probably won't do that.
Those ones are so risky.
I know.
So you just don't know what to do. It's like, do I risk that or what? No, you don't. Don't ever risk it. Never risk it, not even
I
for a
risk
biscuit.
it when we're not streaming.
In our own private life, yes.
We're allowed to do whatever the hell we want. Freedom of speech, right?
Yeah, even though the freedom of speech in the UK is dog shit, but absolutely. Ah, fuck. That's a thick ass tree.
Let me get me notes up. And by notes, I mean a quick message.
The quick message. Yeah, hope everyone's okay. Hope everyone's doing well. Get out of the car. I drowned it, I'm sorry. I thought it would be shallower. Mistakes were made, I'm sorry.
That's alright.
Oh, God. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing good.
But we haven't put it in the quiz chat.
Oh, wait, didn't I?
I'll forward it in for you.
Ah. Oh, whoops. I do like sounding Irish.
I am half Irish, but I don't know if I can do a great Irish.
It's the only accent that I ever practiced as a child, so it's the only one
Top of
that's...
the morning to you.
Top of the morning to you. You can be...
The Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Oh, what the hell?
You alright there, sitting in your little boat?
Not really.
So, not really.
Contemplating life.
It's a bit fucking cold. Oh. Ah! I crushed my shit.
Notes.
It was. It was. Got my notes up. I'm also going to get yours up. Just so I don't forget anything. Yes. Right then. Shall we
Stop being
start?
fucking idiots and we'll start.
Hey, that's the entire show. Right, yes. Hello, welcome. I'm joined with Sean, as always. Welcome to the Mind Over Madness podcast, and this is episode 3. It's the 3rd week we've been doing this, which, fuck me, 3 weeks already. Where is time going? But yeah, if you want to listen to the Spotify now, you can listen to it on... if you want to listen to the Spotify, yeah, if you want to listen to the podcast on Spotify, you can now. Because it's on there.
Yes,
So
you'll find it on Spotify, searching Mind Over Madness.
Exactly. It's a beautiful, beautiful world. Also, big thank you to Robin for doing the little logo that you will see. It's also on my Twitch now as the banner. So you'll
good.
see that there. It is very good. So thank you very much to Robin for doing that. Yeah, I think that's...
You can also watch it on Twitch and YouTube. Right?
Yeah, true. It always gets uploaded to the YouTube channel, so if you do want to go pop over there because you want to watch the gameplay instead, or just have us in the background, feel free to do that as well. So, yeah, Gaming Geeks 24/7. Fucking beautiful, just... It's fucking fantastic. I just can't lie to you. I'm going to get spotted, sorry. But yeah, so after that awful opening, which I've never fumbled an opening more in my life. That is awful.
I don't think it's that bad.
Ah, thanks, boys. That's all right, Robin. Thank you for doing it.
We're just humans,
Yeah.
we're not just boys, okay?
Yes, we are human beings. I identify as a toaster, remember.
Yes. Thank you, boy and toaster.
Thank you, boy and toaster. Yes, absolutely.
So yes, let's talk about lockdown, right?
Yeah, so as we normally do on these things, we normally have a lockdown, and then we go to gaming, then we go to films and TV and Netflix and stuff. So if you end up wanting to skip to any of those parts, I'll try and leave the timeframes in the descriptions. Unless you're listening to it on Spotify, in which case I can't help you.
See, we're not
But
always
thank
gonna
you
be
very
talking
much
about
for listening. But yeah, no. So we'll start off with lockdown. That seems to be a good place to start.
It's still very prevalent right now, so that's
Still
why
going. It's not. The rules have not changed. Although there is a big diversity going on currently about the one rule that got changed in Wales, which we can now go out for twice a day for exercise. Ha!
Apparently in England we've always been able to do that, so I don't know why.
Which is weird.
I didn't realise it was different between the little countries.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of drastic differences apparently between all little stuff. But apparently that's one of the main things that happened to Wales, so I think that's fucking ridiculous. I mean, like, people were listening to that in the first place. I'm not being funny. Like, you know, I mean, come on. If you're gonna start introducing stuff, at least, you know, pretend to give a shit. It's like the government doesn't care. They're
Obviously
like,
in England, which I thought applied to the whole UK, with Boris Johnson's speech later on at 7 PM tonight.
yes,
We're going to be
yes.
hearing about some easing of lockdown measures or something along those lines. And they're kind of low-key dropping the stay-at-home message right now.
Yeah, I didn't actually know that they changed it until you sent it to me, which the new slogan.
Yeah, they're changing the slogan tonight. It used to be "Stay home, protect the NHS, save lives," and now it's "Stay alert, contain the virus, and save lives." I think it's either control or contain the virus. The fact that they've dropped the "stay home" thing, what do you think about that?
I think it's an interesting thing. I don't think they've done it because they wanted to. I think they've changed it mainly because they know people, and not enough people are listening anymore. You know, a lot of people are going out and stuff. Like, Christ, I went for a walk yesterday, as I told you when I was speaking to you, and there was just people sunbathing who couldn't have looked more relaxed if they had tried. And it's like, okay, I get it. You know, it's nice weather, we don't want to waste it and whatever, but the rules... And I think that's why they've changed it, mostly. And plus, I think the slogan change... The slogan change... Oh, God, I'm half asleep, I do apologise. The slogan change is just... no, in my mind, it's completely fucking pointless.
I know, but I think a lot of people will be looking into that kind of... Oh, it doesn't say stay at home anymore, that means we don't have to stay at home.
Like any kind of loophole, you know, to get out. Because let's face it, people are getting sick of being stuck out. We're coming up to the 7th week, I believe, of lockdown now, right? 7th? 7th or 8th? I think it's 7th. So, yeah. Hi, Shaggy, by the way. I do apologise, fumbling your way around, lol. I do that a lot. But, yeah, no, it's surprising to me that they would suddenly change it. I don't quite understand that, but...
I don't know if it's just...
Yeah.
It's like damaging if it kind of word gets out that it's like the media will portray this whole thing like, oh yeah, you don't have to stay at home anymore because you've not got it in the slogan, and the police have got a hard enough job already trying to enforce this thing, and then people would be going back to them saying, oh well, the government advice doesn't say stay at home.
Yeah, exactly. It's just made their job 10 times harder as well, I think, which to be honest I find absolutely baffling.
Unacceptable.
It's just ridiculous. I don't get it, man, at all. I don't get it. Why? You know, like I am, you know, hopeful for little Boris's talk now at 7 PM, and hopefully we'll learn a little bit more.
I don't know why we have to wait till this long. They must have known last week whatever they were going to say tonight. It's probably been pre-recorded anyway.
Yeah.
Why can't we just hear it as soon as?
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's silly. There's a lot of inconsistencies.
Like tradition and
yeah. It's a lot of inconsistencies as well. I don't know if you saw it, but did you see Boris when he first came back into the house? And they were talking about like asking him questions and things like that, and actually very fairly pointing out the fact that he is not hitting his testing goals for the day. Yeah. Now, I still think over 85,000 people is a lot of people to test in one day. That is still very good.
Yeah,
but
I mean, it's not 100 miles off, but it's still like saying one thing and then doing another.
And then he's also said that he wants to increase that again to 200,000 by the end of, I believe it's this month or June, or the start of June or something. I don't know. I believe it's the start of June, which is, in my mind, what's your kind of opinion? I think that's ridiculous, but yeah.
What, they're trying to get?
200, yeah. I mean, do you think that's realistic? Possibly.
I mean, it's possible, but I mean, I don't know why they even put a number on it. They just say you're going to increase it.
Yeah, don't put that kind of, because then that puts more pressure on them.
I know.
Yeah.
Every time you put a date or a number, it's going to get scrutinised by everyone.
Yeah, I know, absolutely.
Speaking of Boris, like, where is he? Why hasn't he done?
Yeah, no, this is a good point. Good point.
Any of the daily briefings? He's done one since he's been back. Like, fair enough, you know, he's been recovering from the virus. He's got a new child, but we need him now more than ever. Like, where is he? What's so important that he can't be doing these things? You know?
Yeah,
or I mean, is he present?
It does baffle me how he came back and said, I can't wait to get back into it and start being a part of it all, but he's done one daily briefing and then what, you know, he's had that one meeting in the house. That's it.
Yeah.
Fuck all else. And it's a bit, I think it's making him look a bit silly. Yeah. Yeah. Not that he doesn't do a good enough job of that anyway, but you know, he makes himself look like a tit half the time, but I feel like he started off quite strong. I know a lot of people would absolutely disagree that this lockdown wasn't put on soon enough and things like that, and the government didn't react, and yeah, okay, fair enough. I feel like he did okay with what he had, but it feels like he's getting weaker. Like he's not having as much success, or you know,
kind of giving up a bit.
Yeah, it's like not so much that he doesn't care anymore, but it just comes across like
silence is deafening.
He can't be bothered anymore, you know?
Yeah.
Like he's just like, oh well, I don't know what else I can say. So
it's just like a typical British thing, isn't it?
It's that thing of I can't be asked. Sod it, just leave them to it. Oh shit.
Yeah, I'm sure loads of people are working 7 days a week behind the scenes, but it's like we just want a bit more clarity, a bit more trust of the government.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things as well is transparency. Like they keep saying they're going to tell us more and they're going to let us know more in the future, and I get it. There's certain things they can't predict on. For instance, the question that they keep getting in the meetings is, how long do you think this is going to go on for? The press need to fuck off. You're not going to get an answer for it. How many more times do they need to tell you? Jesus Christ. Ask something that's fucking warranted, not how long is it going to go on for? You're not going to get an answer. They're not wizards. They don't have a crystal ball.
I think the press aren't really pushing the questions in the right places. They kind of just trying to get headlines to sell the papers, and not really to pressure the government in the right ways.
I do think it's good, and I don't know what your opinion on this is, but I like the fact that they started taking... Obviously, this has been going on for, I think, about a week or two now, but they've been taking questions from, like, the actual public. Like, having the public actually ask it. I think that's a good thing.
I kind of like it, but I feel like it should be a live thing. It'd be much more entertaining rather than pre-recording.
Well, yeah, I could see that. Although I do understand that it's quite difficult to get that kind of thing live. But no,
I think it's pretty entertaining.
I think what they should do is have like a separate thing for the press and the public. So have like an hour thing of just live questions coming in from the public. You know, do it on the same day or a different day. I don't know if that
question time kind of thing.
Yeah, that might be a bit unreasonable. I don't know if that would be basically damn near close to impossible. Well, it's just like, I think that thing of trying to balance how many people would want to ask questions, how quickly they can get through the questions.
How intelligent are the people asking the questions?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are some people out there that probably would ask a dumb question or something that would make no sense.
When was it going to end? Stop it.
How many times have you asked? I haven't actually heard anything on America recently, though. That's been quite... yeah. Obviously, Trump...
Yeah, it's been quiet since the whole bleach thing.
I wonder why. He has been a very quiet little sausage.
Yeah.
Does make me giggle.
I think we went a lot on America the other two podcasts.
Yeah, there was a lot more from this last week. There hasn't been too much from them, which
he's still on about it's all China's fault. Which,
oh yeah, well,
could be.
But that's still an investigation, isn't it? I think he's focusing so much on that he's kind of forgetting that there's still people out there that want answers and the governors that need help. You know, so, but he's like, oh no, they've got the power, and it's like, oh, fucking idiot. But, do we know how many people have died to the virus? Shaggy, good question.
In the UK, it's like 32,000, isn't it?
I'll have a look now. I shall look it up.
Worldwide, I'm not too sure. It's about,
so at worldwide...
About 250 or 300,000 or something like that.
Worldwide, it's 279,000. 1.3 million have recovered and just over 4 million confirmed cases, which is a high amount. That is a lot. 4 million.
Yeah.
But and I think in the UK 215,000 people have been confirmed infected at this point in time, and 31,587 deaths, the second highest. Sadly, in the world. Puppies! Oh, we love the puppies. Yeah, no, that's quite a high death count. But, luckily, the deaths are dropping now. That is something that has been confirmed. Especially with the daily briefings and stuff. They are going down now, which is good.
It is dropping.
Robin said, dogs want your attention.
They do. Being really nice.
Oh, the puppies. They love their dad.
Not now, god damn it.
Later. Down go. Right. So, shall we? There's an article basically on Evening Standard. I'll put a link to this article in the YouTube video, just so you know. No, you're plagiarizing. You're stealing it. Yeah. Well, I've said what I'm reading it off. It's off the Evening Standard. It's off the website of the. This came out 21 hours ago, literally. How might lockdown differ between England, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland? So this is the England one. I'll read the statement and we'll kind of go over it and go over like Scotland and Wales then after it. So Mr Johnson is expected to announce that the garden centres could reopen in England from Wednesday as long as social distancing measures can be enforced. On that point, because my mum brought this up to me earlier, what's kind of your opinion on that?
Garden centres. I mean, I suppose it would be kind of simple to enforce social distancing on them if DIY stores can open.
Yeah.
I went to B&Q the other day and they've got the garden centre section. I don't see the difference between like a DIY shop and a garden centre really.
Yeah.
In terms of enforcing the distance. So yeah, that could be a stage to to open them. But then it's like, oh well, if you're gonna open them, then why not open clothes shops and different kinds of shops?
Yeah, exactly. This was what I was gonna bring up was are they really and not to obviously put part, because I think it would be a good idea to open up, but then obviously I think this is another thing that comes into the Logan change. Or slogan. Why do I keep saying that? Slogan. The slogan change is that that's encouraging people to go out more. Not only that, but garden centres aren't really vital. From what I know, I have very limited experience, don't get me wrong. And from what I also know, garden centres can be very big places, so social distancing can be very easy. But some of them are not that big. So is it going to be one rule for big ones and then another one for small ones?
It also helps that a lot of them are outdoors, like have outdoorsy sections, and they say the virus is not good with outdoors. I think another quick point on the slogan change was that apparently Boris is going to introduce kind of an alert level from 1 to 5 of how bad the virus is in certain places. So that may be part of the stay alert thing.
Okay, that I didn't know. That's good to know. That'd be interesting.
Apparently we're at alert level 4 at the moment, so not the worst. And it can go up and down, and then each alert level has different kind of thresholds to meet, and then more things will open as it gets lower and stuff.
Oh, okay. So they're kind of like going off of what's, if that level.
It's just kind of like a exit strategy kind of thing, a roadmap.
They want to try and get out quicker.
But yeah, also on the encouraging people to go outside, they've just invested £2 billion in a ride your bike scheme.
Yeah.
Like, I'm all for exercising and riding your bike, but something like that at a time when they should be telling people to stay at home, like encouraging it. Is that really the right thing to be doing?
It does seem
encouraging people to go out.
It does seem odd. I won't deny that. I know it's such a tricky one, isn't it? Because on the one hand, you could say that people are, if they're getting exercise and keep social distancing, there's nothing wrong with it. They should be allowed to do that. Okay, absolutely. But then, in regards to, let's be realistic here. If there's multiple people going out and riding on a bike, how the hell are you meant to keep social distancing? If there's multiple, so instead of, let's say, 2 or 3 people on one bike lane, so it's quite easy to keep distance, you suddenly have 10 to 15 people. Because, as well as that, it has been proven to show, and there are a hell of a lot more people that are going out, doing bike rides and stuff now, compared to walking or vehicle travel. But is that necessarily a good thing when, we've got this pandemic is still going on? Yes, it's easing up and the R is under 1 now, but does that mean we should ease up right now? Or, if anything, should we double down?
Money could be spent on elsewhere,
Yeah, more important.
Where's all this money coming from as well? Because the next government, whoever's in charge then, they're going to be really dealing with a big, massive recession.
Yeah, the deficit after this horrible pandemic is going to be atrocious, I think, for absolutely everyone. It's going to be a difficult one. Hello.
Thank you.
I could pick you up. Jump in.
Yeah, I'm in.
Oh shit. Yeah, no, it's a tricky one. It's definitely one I think that it's good progression, but and I definitely think anything to keep people healthier. Absolutely, I'm 100% behind that and for that. Yeah. I love going for bike rides and stuff, but I think right now it's not the greatest thing.
Not the greatest use of resources. I think they're just trying to announce things just to announce things at the moment.
I think they're trying to give... This is the thing. I think people are pressuring them so much to give answers that they're just finding any little thing they can to fucking throw out there, which I don't think is a good attitude to have. And I think the fact that we are pushing the government... Let's be honest, we are pushing them into a kind of a corner of we're forcing them to give answers that really aren't that impressive, is another reason why people are getting frustrated and fed up and kind of like, come on, give us an answer. And it's like, well, what the fuck do you want us to say? They're a bit stuck in it themselves, I think, and I don't know if you would agree with that kind of thing or that trail of thought. But I think we're trying to get answers from us. It's like trying to get a conversation from a stone. Yeah,
I'd agree.
Right, we got a couple of comments here. So, Robin, my grandfather likes gardening and he doesn't like ordering plants online because he likes to look at them. I mean, yeah, no, that's fair enough. And again, I don't want to sound horrible, but again, is that really vital to go and get more plants for your garden? Like, I get it, it's something to do during this very, very horrible time. Absolutely, you know, staying inside all day is not fun or enjoyable. It's very difficult. It's hard on anyone's mental health, regardless of age. But I just don't know if it's the right time to be going, yeah, let's open up things that aren't deathly important right now. But I do understand why they are trying to, because people are going stir crazy, being stuck inside all day. I don't know. You guys chime off in those comments. Hashtag chime off. Let us know.
Yeah, it's all about just opening the economy back up.
Yeah, absolutely. Which I think is fair. I definitely don't think that's a bad thing. But yeah.
One little baby step at a time.
Yes. We have a comment from Vic. Everyone around here just used Veterans Day as an excuse to have a piss-up. Garden parties everywhere. My mother's shop has been cleared out of alcohol, and many have questioned if they can have some and pay later. I mean, she obviously refused, but we are talking 70% of customers who are also not paying attention to the rules in stores in terms of distance and direction. Now, this is something I want to talk to you about. Now, Veterans Day, obviously, this year was meant to be a bit different. If you didn't know, there was meant to be like parties out in the streets. It was meant to be a big event. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, it was very much pushed back, and basically it's not a big deal. This is not a thing that we are going to be focusing on at all. Please don't do it. You know, stay in your home and have a party or whatever. If you've got if you live with people, have a drink in the house, be safe, stay home. But as always with the human race, not many people listened. Yeah, no, quite rightly, as you said, Vic. A lot of people were actually walking into shops to see if they could get free stuff out of it. Also using the lockdown as an excuse to go, well, you know, we're all struggling right now. Well, yes, including shops. What's kind of your take on hearing that kind of thing?
Yeah, there's a lot of kind of parties near me as well. I think where people are getting frustrated and fed up. Obviously, it's not a good place to be. I don't know if whether what you see in the newspapers and stuff, like everyone was flattening the rails. I think the majority of people are being kind of okay. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know exactly.
Yeah.
But,
if you hear weird sound, that's just my tea pouring. It's not me having a tea. I apologise. Sorry.
But yeah, it should have been definitely a stay at home, as the Queen put it. Like, our streets may be empty, but they're filled with love for each other.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think anyone that didn't listen to the rules, well, you're fucking idiots, and you're part of the problem. So, I mean, I get that. Again, it comes back on that thing, doesn't it? Like, we're all struggling, you know. It's not been easy for anyone, you know. 7 weeks, the entire country has been shut down, basically. You know, only vital services. If you are going shopping, you have to queue up for about an hour before you can get into some places. You know, and even when you get inside, sometimes people aren't listening to the social distancing rules, and the staff are stressed, and it's a very tricky time. But this is why people need to be more patient and understanding, which I don't think a lot of people have, especially with Veterans Day. Jesus, any excuse. They actually, I didn't. Now, this is not a confirmed thing or anything, but I have seen like articles talking about how people were actually asking the government to lift the lockdown for Veterans Day for one day, which. I mean, just hearing that, you have to think that person has to be fucking stupid.
Gonna lift it for my birthday as well. Lift it.
Yeah,
for,
exactly. It's just stupid, and it's understand. Like, yes, we all wanted Veterans Day to be a very important, special day this year, but unfortunately, this is what the pandemic does. Next year, do it again, but have the big parties and stuff next year. Hopefully, this pandemic will be over by then, and we can go back to a semi-normal life. Let's face it, no one's going to be back to normal after this. You know, it's a huge, mighty difference between.
Again, it comes back to that kind of the attitude of this country is the kind of typical British thing. Oh, we're patriotic. Any excuse to wave our flag around.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
Show our dominance.
Yeah, no, absolutely, 100% on your side with that. Yeah, sounds exactly like how we all act.
Yeah.
Right. Going back to this article quickly. So we're still on England. Education Secretary Gavin Williams has said that schools are set to reopen in a phased manner after the lockdown, but he has yet to set a date. Last month he said there were no plans to have schools open this summer, meaning if they do not open before then, the earliest pupils are likely to return is September. Do you think that's going to happen? What's your kind of take on that? This is England, by the way. We've still got Wales and Scotland to go yet. This is going to be a long podcast today.
Like universal. Universal way of like looking at it with all the UK, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't realise like Wales and Scotland, like no offence, could just choose their own like ways of doing things. I thought it was all the UK government.
Yeah, no,
That's
it
why
was
it's
quite
the UK
surprising.
government.
Yeah.
But
I think
know.
it was extraordinary times. I think they let governors kind of have a little bit more power to be like, you know, if you make a decision and we'll stand by you kind of thing. One thing I will give the UK government is they all have stood together and allowed different governors to make choices, and very much I'm very, very proud of our government system. As much as people give it shit and stuff, during this pandemic it has been very good.
Yeah, I think obviously the situation is different in Wales than it is in England and Scotland, with less cases and whatever. I think in my region, Northwest, there's like the most deaths and the most cases. Like now, we've overtook London, so obviously that tells you how great the people around here are good at listening.
They are.
But yeah, so each area needs kind of different strategies, which is why the kind of alert system might be good for that.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that alert system is going to absolutely provide much needed, I think, guidance for a lot of us pedestrians.
Yes.
But yeah, no. I personally don't think schools will be open in September, and I think anyone that thinks so is ridiculous. If they want to open them, then it should be in a phased manner. Absolutely, I agree with that. But whether it'll be in September, we don't know. Again, it comes under that thing of just not fucking knowing, really, isn't it? It's people are asking for answers again they're not going to get, and it's like, ask the right
figure
questions.
out a way of doing online schools.
Well, that's what's happening now. I think like teachers are talking to like parents, giving them like the work and stuff to teach the kids, and then parents are like, well, I didn't learn this in school, so how am I meant to teach my kid when I don't even know what it means, you know? So it's a very troubling time for all, and I get that people want schools open, but I just don't see it happening that early even, you know, maybe November. But, you know, even then, it depends on how well people listen to the rules and stuff, isn't it? You know, if people aren't going to listen to it, it's not going to happen. I don't know if you'd agree.
I agree.
I agree. I absolutely agree. Robin said yes to that, so I'm assuming Robin thinks that it will open by then. Okay, fair enough.
Yes.
Yes. Shaggy said in response to Vic's story, same in my area, been a few family gatherings the past few days. It's a shame. I get that people go, oh well, we're family, so it doesn't matter, you know. I've heard that excuse be thrown around a lot, but do you live in the same house? No. Well, there you go then, there's your answer. You know, it's I get it's difficult right now. I haven't seen my granddad in probably nigh on coming up to about 2.5 months now. I miss the guy so much. He's a good laugh. But, you know, I've rung him, multiple times a week. You just ring people, talk to people over the phone. Yeah, there are always ways. I would try and video call him, but, you try teaching someone with Alzheimer's to fucking to remember the last thing they said, let alone fucking learn how to use Skype.
Use a smartphone and video calling.
Yeah, it's tricky enough. So, but yeah, there are ways around it. I think people should try maybe experimenting in those ways a lot more than what has been going on. I don't know if you'd agree, or if you have any stories or kind of opinions on that. I don't like just talking. I feel bad then. I'm like, oh, Sean, do you want to say anything?
No. I'm making sure we don't talk over each other so that it's nice and easy for people to understand. But yeah, I was walking my dogs the other day. This saw a big family of about the 12 people, all in the woods, and you couldn't get past them. None of them were kind of in the mood for moving, shall we say. So that's like, it's just like, oh, come on now. I mean, they didn't seem like the brightest bunch, but
it seems a bit It's disrespectful as well, isn't it? Let's be real. Yeah.
Other people are just trying to get out for their exercise, and you're having a big picnic. And
Yeah.
oh, I'm coming down this ladder, and you're coming.
Yeah, no, it baffles me absolutely bad. But I get it why people are breaking the rule, but they shouldn't be. Find another way to do it, you know.
A lot of people are still bringing their families, all the families, to the shops, and it should just be one person, really. Or they're trying to get creative around it, and yeah, everyone grab a trolley, pretend we're not together.
Yeah. Oh, that pisses me off. That
people
pisses me off.
Are ourselves who do that, you know.
Yeah. That's very, very annoying.
So they're all going around as like a convoy of 4 trolleys, you know.
Oh, that does annoy me very much so. Fucking ridiculous. Don't do that. If you're thinking of it, don't be a twat. Just just don't do it. Just be human, be kind, be understanding.
We know best attitude, which is not helping.
Which is always crap. No offense, but I mean, you know, that shitty attitude doesn't deserve respect. Right, we got comments off Robin. I've just been told that the Valley of Glamorgan was the biggest hit in Wales. I haven't seen my mum for that many months, James, as well. Oh, I know. It is hard, it isn't easy, but this is something we all have to do and stick together to get through. And yes, no, there are statistics and stuff to show that, you know, where we are, it has been hit the worst. Which is unfortunate, but not surprising, I'll be honest. Like I said, you know, I could go out for a walk any day of the week. It could be a shit day. I could go out for a walk. I am guaranteed to see people down the woods that are just sitting there being
seems to be huge gangs of kids as well.
I think this is kind of why they're trying to push the school thing. To get, like, those kids that aren't listening, like teenagers and stuff, who aren't listening to the rules, back into school, so then they can't break the rules. But, I mean, you're not really keeping them safe by that point either. Because they're still going out, so
meet up with their friends and then go on an after-school adventure then.
Yeah, exactly. It just makes it even more risky, unless they have like a scheme of like, oh, your parent has to show up at the door, actually collect you, and then go. But that's going to take like an hour or 2 to get kids out of school then, so it's like, are you going to shorten the school day, lengthen it, like, you know, mental.
Yeah, I'll stagger it with different kids in different days, like they're probably thinking of doing.
Absolutely. Right, the last part of this for England. Last month said there was no plans, read that part, sorry. Pub chain Witherspoons had announced at the end of April that it aimed to reopen its bars and hotels in June. However, the reopening of the pubs and bars is unlikely to happen anytime soon, with some reports claiming they will not return until August and September. This is for England.
There's been a bit of controversy around this, like Wetherspoons thing. Like the owner is just interested in money and not anything else.
He can give a shit about anything else. He's like, my money. I think that's the thing. Like, again, big companies and people are just forgetting the human side of it. They're forgetting why it's so important for people to listen to the rules. And they're like, well, we're losing money. Well, this is why you've been given the grants. But you're just laying people off so you can have more money, aren't you? Like, it's, I don't know. But no, again, I think it's a very optimistic time. June, definitely optimistic. But August, September, I think it comes back to the school thing. You know, if people listen to the rules, possibly. You know, it's not impossible. But I think they are sort of, you know, jumping on sort of a hopeful bandwagon that if enough people say so, then it'll definitely happen. But that's not how this works. Yeah. Don't know if what's your kind of take on it?
I'm the same as you on that one, I think.
Yeah, it's
not much more to add on that.
it's like when talking about these subjects, it's hard, man. If you've got a brain, you pretty much know what you're gonna say. So
if you've got common sense, it feels like we're kind of going in circles, saying the same thing, and it's like,
But I wanted to go through
this.
I wanted to go through this article because it is quite a fascinating one, especially with all the different parts of the UK and stuff. But yes, another comment from Vic. Try and tell a drunk person to stay away from everyone and stop putting bodily fluids on everything. Yeah, exactly. This is why I think another reason, people are just going to get hammered. And
I think in Sweden they're opening bars and stuff, or Switzerland, I can't remember which one. I do apologise. They're opening bars, but they've got like screens between every like table, and only families together can come in.
See, that's
staff there, effort. It's a lot of effort because the staff there feel like they're just the fun police. Like if they see people socialising with each other, go and sit back at your table. Like, that's not a good experience for a customer. It's not a good experience for them.
Oh shit.
Oh, what happened there?
I think it caught on the side, so it broke. Whoops. Right, okay, Northern Ireland. Devolved matters in Northern Ireland include health, social services, education, environmental issues, transport, culture and sport, and policing. First Minister Arlene Foster has said that there might be nuanced changes to be made to lockdown rules, given the example of going out for more exercise in the open air. Any minor adjustments are due to be announced next week. At an executive meeting on Thursday, the coalition administration agreed to issue advice to people in Northern Ireland to wear face coverings in enclosed spaces where they encounter challenges with social distancing. So not much has changed in Ireland. I think Ireland seem to be kind of the more sensible ones, which, when you think about it, are the stereotypical. I mean, imagine the stereotypical Irish person. They just drink and swear and tell each other to fuck off.
Not racist at all.
Yeah, but it just shows, doesn't it? Stereotypes ain't shit.
Nice save.
They are, the most sensible. It appears to be anyway. Because I think they haven't been hit that hard, as far as I know. I'm not too sure on statistics, so I won't even attempt to speculate. But they haven't really been hit that difficult.
The density of population there is probably less than.
Yeah, that's probably another assistance, shall we say, to what's going on there. If there's less people enclosed in one space, then it's going to be
look
easier.
at New Zealand. They've only had about a handful of cases compared to the rest of the world. Because they just locked down straight away as soon as they heard about this.
They were just like, get out! Get out!
Or get in.
Or get in! Well, choose! Right, okay. We're going to Scotland now. Yeah, no. Oh, man. Right, Scotland. Devolved matters in Scotland include education, environment, health and social services, law, order, local government, sport and the arts of tourism. Order! Police Scotland's Chief Constable Ian Livingstone has already acknowledged different approaches to easing the lockdown in different nations. Quote, would make the policing role more challenging, end quote. But he added he has confidence officers will be able to respond to that. He dismissed the notion that roadblocks would be set up in the event of Scotland and England easing coronavirus restrictions at different speeds. Nicola Sturgeon has said the only change to their current measures in Scotland will be allowing people to leave their house for exercise more than once a day. She said while it may be that the 4 UK nations move at different speeds, if data about the spread of the virus necessitates that, she expects any differences between the nations to be initially quite minor. What's your view on that? I
think they will be quite minor. I think he's heard the response of people and they'll be backpedaling
quite quickly.
Try and make it so that it's like, oh yeah, we didn't mean, this. So we didn't mean to remove the stay-at-home message.
Yeah.
But yeah, when they say more than once a day for exercise, what does that mean? You can go out 100 times. You can go out twice.
Yeah, I think they're kind of using very lax terms, but I assume they mean you can go out twice now, but they haven't made that clear. This is something the government needs to improve on, I think. Let us know what you think of this in the comments, by the way. The government definitely needs to get better on communication. They're not very good at being completely transparent, shall we say. It still feels like they're trying to hide a lot of information unnecessarily, which to me just seems like a complete waste of time. Just be honest. If you're not going to open it up, then fucking say you're not going to open it up. Don't beat around the bush with it. Just be, well, this is the rules. If you don't like it, tough shit, we're the government, listen. So, but I don't feel like, doing this sort of fucking little tiptoeing, well, you can go out for more than one daily exercise now. It just seems a bit silly to me. Especially when it's the government that are making these rules, just be honest, completely open up and be like, look, these are the rules, follow them.
Yeah.
If you don't, you'll be fined or the police will take you home. Your choice, you know?
They need to be stricter.
Yeah. I think I get why the police haven't been, though. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, police, they can't really enforce stuff like this because, you know, they're going to get answered back with all this confusing, conflicting guidance that the government's putting out.
I definitely think the police's job has already been made harder by the fact of social distancing. Like, they can't, you know, just grab people anymore and put them in cuffs. That's not how it works.
They've got, in London, they've got social distancing officers now, rather than, you know, fully police.
So, are they even lower than community police?
I think so.
That might sound a bit harsh, but you know. Sorry, no offense against anyone that's a community officer at all. You are, I believe, community officers are still considered key workers. Sorry, I had a brain fart then. I apologise. Right. Oh, and there's a broken drone there. Right, on to Wales. Devolved powers in Wales include education, health service, transport, housing, self-welfare, culture and environment. Mark Drakeford said on Saturday that the Prime Minister's announcement for England would be very much in line with the very smallest easing granted in its nation. But he has firmly stated that schools will not reopen in Wales in June. Some small adjustments to lockdown measures in Wales have already been announced and are due to take effect from Monday. People will be allowed to exercise more than once per day. Garden centres will be allowed to reopen as long as social distancing rules are in force, and changes to regulations have been proposed to allow local authorities... Oh shit, I was like reading and then I got attacked by some arsehole on a turret. Right, give me a second. Right, let me get to a safe spot. Well, we'll talk about that then. So Wales obviously are going to open garden centres and things. Which again, this just comes back to the conversation I guess we had earlier. I don't know what your take is on the fact that they are going to open them if their rules are enforced. Do you think their rules are going to be enforced though? Let's be honest.
It's going to be the same as the other shops where, you know, it's queuing to get in, but, you know, what happens inside?
What happens inside stays inside.
Yeah.
It's that kind of laxed attitude to it, though, isn't it? It never feels like, when you get inside a place, it doesn't feel like the rules are enforced or followed, like, not even in the slightest. So it's quite difficult to have faith in, you know, a government and their rules when they themselves are not really following.
Then again, they give the advice and then they like, oh, right, police, it's your job to sort this out.
Yeah, they sort of just throw it on the police.
Understaffed and whatever.
Yeah, they just sort of throw it on the police like, well, you guys do the law stuff, right? So you guys can do that. It's like, well...
There'll just never be a perfect kind of solution.
I don't think there ever will be, no. Ironic. Terms been imposed. Right, here we go. Enforced, and changes to regulations have been proposed to allow local authorities to begin planning how to safely reopen libraries and recycling centres. I'm just going to say that. I can't say that other word. I apologise. Recycling centres. Some of the measures that have been differed in Wales to date include stricter rules on hotels continue to operate and the closure of holiday caravan sites, camping sites and certain public footpaths, and land to detour large numbers of people who flock to beauty spots in the early days of the lockdown. That's the end of the article. Yeah, Wales definitely has had probably a lot more controversy, I feel, with people not so much listening to the rules. I don't know.
You're a Welsh guy.
Well, from my you know, experience and what I've seen, yeah, no, absolutely. I think people in Wales aren't listening to the rules, and I think the majority of people that aren't listening to the rules though are absolutely younger people. That just don't want to listen to the rules. They're like, well, it's nice weather, sod you, I'm going to go out or whatever, and I believe someone in Wales was like pulled over or something early on in the lockdown and was caught with weed, and said they had to essentially go out because it was an emergency, and they asked them what the emergency was, and it was to get marijuana.
They stopped an English guy. 300 miles he travelled to go and get a puppy.
Jesus. Like, I mean, it's mental, man. Some people just genuinely, I do, do wonder if they've got a brain cell. And if not, are they dangerous? Like,
Well, these people are the ones who wouldn't listen to anything that the government say.
Yeah, it's kind of that. I do find that in Wales, people have, from what I've heard, there have been the occasional kind of stories from like other people in other parts of the UK and stuff that have had their stories in their instance. But Wales just seems to be the fucking epitome. I do like the idea that they are going to make the rules a lot stricter though. If they are going to open up stuff, that to me seems like the right move. Make them stricter. Absolutely, make sure that they are enforced and they're working if you're going to open stuff, and then move on. So, yeah, No, I think hopefully they're not doing something ridiculous or stupid, or it's not going to cause more issues, or more, even worse, a second spike. Like, we can only imagine after all the effort that's been put in and suddenly, let's lax up a bit, spike. So hopefully people just listen to the advice that's given and they don't take the piss.
Great in the summer months, but this lockdown will be a hell of a lot worse in the winter if we have to be open.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Especially if this is still going on in the winter. I mean, food shortages are already happening. Meat and stuff like that is already being affected because a lot of companies that are classed as essential business, Trump signed like a waiver or something, not waiver, sorry, an executive order to force meatpacking plants to open, and still half of them haven't. They've just gone, no, we can't ensure the safety of our workers. So yeah, and it's the same with farmers and stuff in Wales and things like that. It's just not a safe enough environment for them to do their job safely and be able to provide food. So it's another reason.
Oil prices are going down to historic lows.
Yeah,
no one wants oil anymore.
Yeah, no one can buy it. I think for like one day in America, it actually got to it actually went negative for the first time in history. They had to pay people to take the oil, which is insane.
And Trump was like, "We're making the most of this good opportunity."
Mental, absolutely mental. But yeah, no, is the thing. Robin said also doesn't help if they live near a beach. Yeah, but then that comes under self-discipline, doesn't it? Or be sensible. If you can see there is not a single person on the beach, or if there is someone on the beach, keep your social distancing and go for a walk. Don't fucking sunbathe there, Just go over, have like a nice, 20-minute walk on the beach. If you live next to the beach, it has been lovely weather. Go on the beach, have a walk, keep your social distancing, be sensible, and I'm sure you'll have a fucking cracking time. But, don't put other people at risk because you can't. You think you're an individual to the suffering of everyone, that is going through this horrible pandemic.
Yeah, I certainly agree that they shouldn't be sunbathing and stuff on the beach. But I don't really know why beaches are put on this thing like, oh, if you go to a beach, you're breaking the rules all the time. I think I've been to parks where there's less social distancing on beaches and like these huge spaces.
Yeah.
I don't know. And you kind of the cleaner air and what have you.
Yeah, I think beaches are definitely. I would say less of a risk than parks. Yeah. They're bigger. There's more space. I mean,
what's the difference between going to a beach and going to like a local park? Really.
Yeah,
so I don't know about that one.
Absolutely. I think it's silly if you're going on a beach and you're sunbathing, then no, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, of course.
But if you're going to a beach just to have like a walk on the beach because it's a nice day, you don't want to waste the entire weather or anything, then no, absolutely. But another thing is if you're driving 2 hours to get to a beach, you're being a twat.
For a half an hour walk.
Yeah, don't do that. As horrible as it might seem, don't just fucking drive for 2 hours so you can sit on a beach. It's not worth it. It's not worth that kind of risk that you're putting other people at to. Not just that, but the time you're then wasting of the police who then have to pull you over, ask where you're going, why you're going, that kind of shit, when they need to be dealing with other things as well. I think that's the biggest shame of all this, is how much shit the police have taken during this time when they are just trying to enforce. Yeah, they're trying to enforce the rules. You fucks. You know, like. I don't get it. It's just, you know. It's so disrespectful, but you know, everyone is struggling. I think that's the overall arcing of the lockdown right now. Last comment on this will have this. I'm assuming this is about the lockdown, so this will make this the last comment. Vic said there is a lot of food waste happening because of restaurants and food production places not being open. Industries that provide these places with produce and ingredients either aren't distributing to the public because they would have to lower their prices, or the ones that are, their stuff is not being brought because it is so expensive. What's kind of your take on that?
Yeah, like I hear lots of restaurants and stuff are going to be opening and more takeaway places like McDonald's and stuff like that, as a takeout kind of thing in the coming weeks. So maybe that'll help with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a shame. It's a lot of livelihoods are going down the drain the longer this goes on.
I think it's definitely a shame that food's being wasted. I mean, more so what I don't get is, okay, these big companies obviously have to make money to be able to continue. I get that. But during this pandemic, wouldn't you think that because of the grants and stuff they're getting anyway, they could just give this food to people that need it? There's hundreds of thousands of families out there that are struggling. Why not donate all that food that's going to be wasted to like a number of food banks or like a food charity, so they can, you know, or ones that are still functioning?
Some of them probably do, but like maybe there's just so much of it that you can't logistically get it to the right places without it going off or going to waste.
That's true. Yeah, there might be some outside factors that, you know, I'm not accounting for, that I don't know of. Of course, yeah, no, absolutely. But I don't know, if they weren't doing that, that would concern me a bit. It would be like, well, you got all this food, help the world. You know, we've all got to band together through this shit. So
I suppose a lot of farmers and stuff would argue you can't like just wait to harvest all these crops and things. You've got to do it like when they're ready, or then you miss out on another like harvest round of crops. Not that I've not played much Farming Simulator,
so your knowledge is not at export quality level.
Yes. You know, all you need to do as a farmer is play Farming Simulator.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, so it's a shame.
Right, and then the last thing that I'm going to bring up on the lockdown, I believe, meant to bring this up last week. I completely forgot, so I apologise. Obviously, everyone knows who Tom Moore was. So to leave this on a lighter note, that man who walked just around his building raised £32,794,701 by the time it was done. That is incredible. Like, to leave it on a happier note, that is insane. And obviously he had his like 100th birthday and stuff and everything. Like, absolutely incredible guy. So
he got promoted in like.
Did you see the interview with him on TV? He was so adorable. I cried my eyes out. He was so nice. Oh, but thank you to everyone else. It's like, oh, you fucking lovely man. Why can't everyone else be like you?
They built a little statue for him in my local park as well. Like, so cute.
He is
what a
absolute hero. Massive inspiration to everyone. Absolute inspiration to probably so many people out there.
More people need to take a leaf out of his book.
Absolutely, they do. If more people were like him, I'm sure the world would be a much more safe and happy place.
And on that note, we're
going to move on to something else. Fucking hell, an hour, nearly an hour on lockdown alone. Mad. But I do love it. I love it.
What are we going to talk about?
So now,
this is over.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Right, we're on games next. Ooh, lot of the gaming sexiness going on. So, yeah. Any kind of gaming news that you want to jump into first, or?
Well, I got this one thing of like apparently the Nintendo Switch is halfway through its life cycle now.
Jesus.
I didn't realize it'd been out that long. I don't know how often Nintendo's consoles kind of live for, but
yeah, they tend to have them for a while. I think with Nintendo, right?
Yeah.
They don't tend to
probably move
on.
Not as long as like the PlayStations and the Xboxes.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
So you have a Nintendo Switch, right?
Yes, I do. I do. I
I was
haven't used
just,
it much, but I have it.
just wondering on how you feel about them compared to your average console. Well, it's still a console, but you know.
I don't know. I like it. You know, personally, I think it's a good thing to like if you're going like a holiday or a car ride. Obviously, right now that kind of stuff is a bit on hold. But no, they're definitely good for like if you're going to like over someone's house or you're staying there the night or something. Instead of like taking your console or TV or a ridiculous amount of things, just taking this one handheld is really good. And they have really good games on there as well. I mean, Christ, you got The Witcher 3, bunch of indie games.
That the Nintendo Switch can handle something like The Witcher and Assassin's Creed and stuff.
I know, insane. And to be honest, from what I've seen as well, with like The Witcher being used on the console, it's really bloody good. Like it looks really good as well, and
some little minor graphical cutbacks, but like just the whole scope of it.
The size of the bloody thing is unreal. So the fact that that little that little handheld can do that. I mean, I call it a little handheld, but it is pretty chunky.
Yeah, it's a powerful device in your hand. I've got the Switch Lite, so it's a bit smaller than the average.
You are the light fellow.
I'm a light, so it's got obviously the beauty of handheld gaming, which is it's always been amazing. You know, starting with the Game Boy on.
Absolutely.
I'm sure the gaming Nintendo enthusiasts will correct me on that one. But
yeah, the Nintendo fanboys.
But obviously the games they do, it's like all kind of Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, stuff like that. I think they're all pretty solid franchises, good money makers.
Yeah,
made a winner on that one.
Absolutely, yeah. No, Nintendo have a knack for being able to make a product that just for some reason just absolutely grabs people and just blows up.
Yeah,
which is insane.
Hearts.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, but yeah, the fact that it's halfway through its life cycle already. I mean, considering how stuff like that works these days, or tends to work at least, it's not too surprising to me. I do feel like
the next half.
Yeah, no, exactly. You know what else is gonna come of this stuff? So it's pretty insane. But yeah, what would you like to see actually change then? Oh, sorry, go on.
I've heard. Well, this is linked into that. I've heard that they're apparently gonna maybe have a partnership with Sony and Microsoft and stuff, and might make it have an app that makes you play your PlayStation games on the Switch.
Ooh, that could be interesting.
So that's just a rumor at the moment, but I hope that happens. Like,
it'd be about time. Nintendo. Sorry, yeah.
You can play PlayStation games on your computer and stuff through various ways. So hopefully that happens. Yeah, what were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say, it'd be about time that Nintendo actually kind of worked with Sony and Microsoft. I mean, let's be honest, cross-play wise, you know, Microsoft and Sony managed to sort of push aside their differences and make it work. So I think adding Nintendo into that factor, I think opens a lot of doors that people probably wouldn't have expected.
Does on cross-play on some things. I think Dauntless may be one of them, or Fortnite or something like that.
Yeah, Fortnite
they have
will
like
be.
Nintendo cross-play with that, so who knows.
I would like to see that. I'd like to see that happen. Whether it will or not, obviously, is another story. But
I hope it'd be nice. Make an handheld model PlayStation. You can play this on the Switch.
Yeah, Christ, can you imagine?
The controller layout is very similar,
Yeah, no, that is true. As much as people might look at that and go, how the fuck does the Switch have the same kind of controls as a PlayStation or an Xbox? Be surprised when you're holding those two,
it doesn't
controllers.
Feel natural.
Yeah, it feels very normal. So
and you get used to the kind of circle X kind of thing being different.
Yeah, it works quite well. It's just as easy switching between like an Xbox and a PlayStation. People go, "Oh, didn't you get confused?" Not really. It's the same layout, just different buttons, different letters.
Yeah, that's what I kind of had to talk about. I don't know if you had to.
I've got a couple of things. We do have a comment from the Shaggy. Crossplay is already there for Minecraft. I'm pretty sure. I'm not too sure on that. I could imagine so, but I'm not.
In the most recent update, there was Minecraft kind of crossplay thing.
Ooh, okay, that's actually quite interesting. One of the most popular games. That actually makes a lot of sense. It's progress towards a hopeful and positive-looking future in regards to gaming.
Oh, yes.
it's a good time to be alive for gaming, man. A lot of good stuff coming out.
Oh,
Obviously,
yeah.
one of the biggest ones that was recently released, and I've been binging the games of, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. We obviously had the gameplay reveal as well, which kind of disappointing. Didn't have much gameplay in it, to be honest.
That, yeah.
From what you see in it, I don't think there's a lot of gameplay actually in it.
I heard somewhere that Valhalla isn't going to be the longest one they've done. Maybe more concise and focused on the story.
Yeah, they did say that. I believe that it is going towards more of the kind of the trend they've been going with so far, which is obviously kind of like Odyssey and very RPG driven. From what I've seen anyway.
Maybe like the Rogue to the Black Flag.
Yeah, no, absolutely,
kind of
yeah. Okay,
similar, but shorter.
Similar but smaller scale, but a lot of side stuff. So not so big story, but more side stuff to kind of go off and distract yourself with, possibly. That's kind of what I'm imagining anyway, at least from it. I think that's pretty reasonable to imagine from it. Now, it's just something I wanted to also bring up, because I really like the music to Assassin's Creed. The soundtracks for those games, especially 2 and Brotherhood especially, to me are very, very standout, beautiful pieces of music made very, very well. I was going to ask, do you have any soundtracks from games that you remember or had a very grown fond of?
I like the Assassin's Creed ones as well. What the game? I think Anthem did really well on the soundtrack.
Yeah, one thing they did get right.
Same composer, I believe it's like Sarah Shatner or something. She does Call of Duty as well. They're very diverse and interesting. I think, well, obviously, games being very rival to films these days, they need the soundtrack to boot.
Yeah.
To, that sense of scale and triple anus. Oh my god, what did I say? Triple A.
The triple anus. We all like a triple anus.
Oh my
Triple
god.
anus.
That was not what I was supposed to say.
That was amazing. That was incredible. Do it again.
What are your biggest word slip-ups?
Triple anus.
Triple anus.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love it.
You know when something sounds good in your head, but it doesn't sound right.
you say it out loud and then you go, ah, fuck. Oh, man.
Yes.
Beautiful. Very, very good.
It needs that high budget feel, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. One of my favourite ones, and it's composed by a guy called Nathan Whitehead, absolutely spectacular artist, has done a lot. He also worked on the Purge series, a film called Keanu, which, oh god, I love that. He worked on Days Gone, did the soundtrack for that. That soundtrack is fucking spectacular. I think probably my favourite one that I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I know I believe you played the game anyway.
Yeah.
Do you remember the soundtrack at all, or is it very sort of hazy?
It's a bit hazy, but it's kind of chilled, laid back, kind of. How do I describe it? Really, low key guitars and stuff like that.
I do kind of wish the story. If the story had been better, the music would have fit it a lot better because it was very emotional driven as well. It was a lot of. I think my favourite one was like Deacon's. I can't remember what the track is called. Deacon something. It's a very emotional moment and the story and stuff, but unfortunately the writing was not great on that game. As much as I love that game, but
another good soundtrack would be Greg Edmonson doing Uncharted series.
Oh yes, the Uncharted series.
Kind of.
Yeah, very, very good.
I believe he's no longer around now. So,
it's a shame.
His legacy is the Uncharted series.
That is where his legacy lies. Yeah. No, there's a few good composers, but those are kind of the standard ones that I have. Anything else? Any other gaming things that you wanted to talk about?
Obviously, we touched on it the other week with Last of Us 2 coming out very soon.
Ooh, yes. Now, I have not seen a single... This is the good thing about not being on the internet. I I have not seen a single spoiler for that game, and I am very glad. Very glad.
But yeah, hopefully, I don't think Naughty Dog will let us down in that department. But
yeah,
obviously there'll always be cynics who will like watch all the games spoiled and like, oh yeah, it's rubbish.
Yeah,
it's. But as with this game, you could watch the whole of the story for this game and be like, oh yeah, this is crap.
Yeah,
but it's the gameplay that
yeah,
that we play.
I think I'm definitely looking forward to the story of Last of Us 2. I definitely was very invested in Last of Us 1. Last of Us 1 was huge. It was one of the first games I streamed as well.
The soundtrack to that is a good.
Oh god, the soundtrack! Oh Jesus, yeah, no, I completely forgot about that. Soundtrack to that game is astonishing. Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's by Gustavo Santaolalla or something.
Yeah, hold on. I shall look it up. It's great having a laptop in front of you. You can just look shit up all the time.
Really have that up right now. Why did not bring it in?
Yeah, Gustavo Santaolalla. I hope I pronounced that. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I apologise if not. Who's working on the soundtrack for the second one?
It's the same guy.
Same guy. Oh yeah, it is. So
I
hopefully
more up to date with that than the actual game.
Yeah. No, absolutely looking forward to Last of Us 2. It's going to be that is a game I'm going to stream, simply because I really want to share that kind of experience like I did with the first game.
I'll watch that.
I do very, very much remember streaming the first game. Very long time ago. Funny enough, one of the first things I streamed while we were talking as well. Way back when. Jesus, that was like 4 or 5 years ago? Bloody hell. Mental. Right.
Really nice edition in that. What a difference.
Oh, that game. Jesus, that game still gives me nightmares. Right. Okay, we got a few comments to go through here. We had Shaggy. I like the theme. It's not enough for me to pre-order though. Gonna wait for final product videos after release. I'm not too sure. I'm assuming that is about The Last of Us. Or might be Assassin's Creed. If it's Assassin's Creed, I would say can't really blame you at all. There hasn't really been much footage and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I've not pre-ordered it or anything, mainly because the pre-orders I tend to get now, if I ever get them, are
games
digital.
You know you like.
Yeah, and digital as well. I don't tend to get physical copies anymore, weirdly enough. But yeah, no, absolutely on that with that. Robin said, "You're not going to believe what I just did. Just took out my washing out of the washing machine. I need to try and find out. I've also put my deodorant in there. Jesus. Only to find out I've also, yeah. Woman! That was from Vic. Just so people know I'm not screaming just woman at her. Like, no, that was a comment from Vic as well.
That makes it better.
Yeah. Of course. Can you imagine a man being like, woman? It just doesn't sound good. Sexism. Right. Before I end up digging a hole for myself even deeper.
Let's move on to films.
Well, before we go on to the films and stuff, I was actually going to talk about the latest news for the 2 consoles. So we have the PlayStation 5. The PlayStation 5 latest news, and we've also got the Xbox. Now, one of the most recent things that came out on Eurogamer, I'm not going to go through this entire fucking thing, because obviously I already got one article that I've got to put down the bottom and I got to try and find that shit again. But it's literally just titled, Microsoft admits we set some wrong expectations with the Xbox Series X gameplay reveal. Now, this is based on the reveal of what happened with Valhalla. A lot of people were not that impressed with it. Essentially, a lot of people were complaining that the graphics really didn't look that different. The hardware didn't seem that different.
Well, it's even out on this console, isn't it? Or is it next?
I think they're aiming for a next console release, but I'm guessing they're going to bring it out on this, generation of consoles as well. Because let's face it, something could happen and the game or the consoles might not release on time or whatever. So.
Yeah.
See you later. Sorry, mum's going out.
Key worker.
Yes, key worker. She's going off to work. But yeah, no. What's kind of your take on that? Hearing that, you know, Microsoft even admits that they set some wrong expectations for it. Now, I haven't read the article, but from what I do gather, the actual gameplay reveal was heavily disliked.
Oh dear. Well, it's that thing where they're sorry that they got caught, really.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
So it's about being honesty and not having money and pre-orders over what you're trying to sell there. But yeah, I'm just happy it wasn't a PlayStation.
Yeah, I know. Like, obviously, I know that. I think the only Xbox console that I really had that was heavy invested into was the Xbox 360. I own that basically from when it first came out until the end of its life cycle. Like that's the only Xbox I really owned. Like, I own an Xbox One now, but I don't really use it that often. I tend to just have occasionally, I'll go on it to play games like Shaggy or something. But yeah, no, quite surprising actually that Microsoft would make such a silly fumble, especially after all the years, especially when it's been
like a mistake, is it?
Yeah, no, exactly. It's a fucking bad.
That's pre-planned.
Yeah, so it's quite worrying actually when you think about it, because apparently and remember, these are meant to be the last consoles. After this, they're not planning. There's no plans for either side, Sony or Microsoft, to make any more consoles. This is meant to be the last generation. So hearing something like that, like, that's, for anyone that obviously is more of an Xbox person than a PlayStation, that has got to sound concerning. You know, yeah, that can't be good. But yeah, on to the PlayStation 5. I'm only doing one article from this again. It's from T3 Smarter Living. So the PS5 fires back against the Xbox X as EA lets slip a PlayStation 5 secret. So I haven't actually looked into this or anything. I know there was a slight leaking of some very, I guess, secretive information about the PlayStation 5 and things that were going on. But the fact that EA apparently let it slip, what's your kind of take on that? A company that supposedly let slip a very, more so secretive.
I find it hard to believe all these things that get leaked and stuff. Like, is anything really leaked, or is it kind of intentionally put out there?
Well, like Deadpool 1, when they brought in the film. Ryan Reynolds.
But yes, I obviously don't know what this secret is.
Yeah.
It's too damaging for them and whatever. But
yeah, well, I think it's more.
Maybe it's good.
I'm not sure what the secret is, because obviously, again, I'm one of those people, I don't want to hear stuff about it, because it's kind of, I'd rather hear it from the actual company themselves.
And things are subject to change all the time as well.
Yeah, exactly. These
consoles,
consoles,
hear a rumor, and it'll be a kind of a version of the truth.
Yeah, absolutely. But the fact that EA have supposedly leaked it, that's not surprising to me. They're a dumbass company that don't know what the fuck they're doing anymore. So they stopped fucking working on Battlefront 2, wankers.
Apparently there's cats coming for that as well, by the way. So
they're still working on it then.
There's no content, but there is like a balancing patch.
Oh, that's good.
They're not completely abandoned.
That's good to know.
But yeah, other than that, they have kind of ditched it, which is a bit annoying.
Yeah. But, yeah. But that's...
I think we covered that the other week.
Yeah, we did, yeah. I remember. Right. Okay, is there anything in chat, any gaming stuff in chat that you guys want us to talk about? If so, throw it out there while we start talking about films and stuff now, and maybe we'll talk about it at the end. If there's any articles or anything you want to talk to us about, remember, put it in the chat, suggest it to myself or Sean during the week, and remember, if you want to join us on the podcast, always feel free to ask, and who knows, maybe you'll join us for a section as part of the podcast. It'll be fun. We were talking about this earlier.
We should call this podcast Triple Anus now.
Triple Anus. That is the title of the episode 3, Triple Anus. Right. Okay, so, movies, films, and Netflix.
Well, I was thinking a big one we could talk about is the Star Wars.
Yes, yeah.
Star Wars shit.
Let's set this controversial ship alight. Yeah, no. Okay, so yeah, I recently watched Return of the Jedi. Jesus, the last Jedi and the Rise of Skywalker. I finally watched 2 of them. I also went back and watched Force Awakens just to kind of remember the storyline. And all I can say is, holy fuck, do those films jump all over the fucking place? Like, Jesus Christ, it's insane. You can absolutely tell that JJ did not like The Last Jedi. You can tell that Ryan had a completely different fucking view of what he wanted for the films. And the cast didn't even enjoy it that much. Have you seen John Boyega and Daisy have like both ridiculed Kathleen Kennedy? Like both of them. They've both said that she is awful at leading the charge, basically, for any kind of Star Wars stuff. For those of you who don't know, Kathleen Kennedy was kind of the screenplay and scriptwriters and stuff for and developers for the films, the most recent trilogy. Well, I mean, what was it? Because we'll start off with, because you are a Star Wars fan yourself, very much into that Star Wars universe. So, what was your kind of view on those films, and how did you feel about them?
Well, the whole sequel trilogy, it was interesting because I think it's the first time they've had a change of directors mid trilogy for the Star Wars films. So I think that was interesting. But yeah, the sequel trilogy, it probably wasn't my favourite one. My favourite is the originals, of course. Can't go wrong with the originals.
Yeah.
A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
I just feel like they did so much right for the time, and they kind of still hold up now.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
After watching the sequel, I don't think they're bad films. They've kind of done the best. I liked the kind of some elements of them. I liked, obviously, the Emperor kind of being back and stuff in the last one.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, but if anyone's not seen them, then you probably turn off now.
Yeah, alright, okay. Well,
before
we get into the spoiler territory, we'll kind of give our opinions on the films and stuff, and then we'll warn you before we start talking about the
Everyone
spoilers.
knew the Emperor's back, right? It's in the trailers.
No, that's in the trailer. So I mean, if you think that's a spoiler, then you haven't. You haven't watched. You haven't really cared. I didn't really give a shit, I'll be honest. Okay, I'm going to say this much. If they weren't Star Wars films, I would say they're good films. Absolutely. They are well made. I think the second one is probably... The Last Jedi is probably the worst of the three. And that's not just to kind of pick a fight and be like, oh, well, the JJ didn't direct that one, so it's not good. No, absolutely not. I don't actually think JJ Abrams is that good of a director, personally, myself. I'm not a fan of many of his films, actually. But The Last Jedi just really fucked with that kind of build-up from the first film. Not going to get into spoilers and stuff just yet, but... I definitely think Last Jedi was my least favourite. Force Awakens is my favourite out of the three. Overall, I'm not like a big Star Wars fan, so I'm not that into the lore. I just kind of wanted to watch the films, have a good time, and enjoy them. Yeah. But to be honest, even not knowing the lore, there are so many plot holes and points in the films that just don't make any sense. I struggle to sort of sit there and be like, I can enjoy this. It did get quite difficult quite quickly, sadly, which I found to be a shame.
It's not one of the big aspects. I think as long as it slaps Star Wars on it, people are going to watch it anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I feel like having watched the sequels, though, I can't really tell you which one's better, with the prequels or the sequels, because the prequels, when they came out, they had a lot of hate as well. And
yeah, they did.
Going back and watching some clips of them recently, it seems like they... I'm trying to be careful what I say.
Yeah.
They kind of had some weird acting problems and like Jar Jar, like what the hell?
Yeah, I like Jar Jar, but not a lot of people liked him.
So maybe some things are a bit too goofy. And yeah, the CGI wasn't great, but obviously you got to give that the benefit of the doubt.
The doubt. You went really, you went really for that Manchester accent then for a second. You went really English for the doubt. Sorry.
Yeah.
Would you say you enjoyed the films though, and that you would say you liked them as Star Wars films and stuff? Personally.
I'm glad that we got some more Star Wars films. I think that's going to be it for a while.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we got them, and I did enjoy parts of them. I'm not one of these people who hates the sequels. I liked some of the characters, and I liked what they did with some of a very small amount of the story.
Yeah.
I like seeing some of my favourites return.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, it could have been handled a bit better, and if it didn't have the Star Wars tag on it, I wouldn't really be bothered.
Yeah, I wouldn't really criticise it that much, but the Star Wars tag makes it a little bit more difficult not to criticise it.
Everyone looked up to the Star Wars as this epitome of
yeah,
amazingness.
It was big shoes to fill. Right, spoilers. Spoilers! If you haven't seen the films, don't watch or listen to this next bit. Skip forward. Don't listen to it, you asshole. Fuck off. Right, okay. So, with the spoiler warning given, that's a hint that we're going to be talking about some intricate stuff from the films now. So if you haven't seen them, you want to go see them, and don't listen to this next bit. But my first thing, we'll talk about Force Awakens first. The introduction of Chewie and Han back into it. Absolutely one of my favourite moments in any film history. That is such an amazing moment. And the words he uses as well when he walks through and he goes, "We're home." Like it's just a very, very true thing that you would imagine Han saying, especially after he's, Although I don't quite understand why the Millennium Falcon is just sitting on that planet, ironically, in the dust.
Yeah.
I don't know what your take is.
I think it was like 30 years or so since the
yeah.
passed. So it must have always been sold to scrap. Was there? Han was at like Maz's castle and stuff like that. But yeah, so I don't know. Again, it's that law thing. Like, are you really that gonna be that concerned about it?
Yeah,
like shit happens,
Yeah, so it's a fun action film. Shit happens. You can sort of brush it off with anything. Just quickly, well, hello, my good sir. It is I, the Dark Unicorn. How are you doing? Hello, Dark Unicorn. You changed your name. Doing pretty well, my dude. So yeah, what the hell is an Aluminum Falcon?
Aluminum.
Vic. No. But yeah, Force Awakens by far my favourite. The setup for the idea that Finn and Rey had some sort of romantic kind of thing going on, I actually really liked that. It made me invested in their characters a hell of a lot more. Like a lot more than it once was.
Yeah. It's something when I watched The Last Jedi, I learned to appreciate more of The Force Awakens, and I haven't actually seen it.
No, absolutely, yeah. I think we'll get onto The Last Jedi in a sec, but that fucked up a lot of really, really good setups that were there ready for it. But yeah, no, Force Awakens by far was very, very good. The way they dealt with the death of Han Solo
I was going to say, he was like, "Oh, it's such a brilliant moment introduction of Han and Chewie."
Yeah, it was such an impactful moment. And it was something that really, defined Kylo as whether he was going to follow his father's footsteps, and become Ben Solo, or if he was going to, kind of turn more to the dark side. And I think that was kind of his turning point.
Pass the torch over to Rey with the Falcon as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So he's like the big father figure. I'm the original trilogy. Now you can be the sequel.
Yes, exactly. I definitely think they did a really good job with Force Awakens. Personally, I think it's a very, very good film. I think JJ did a good job at directing it. I think the actors did okay. I do kind of think Daisy's a bit of a screaming, whining little bitch through each and every film. I don't think they did Rey much justice, and as the films go on, as we'll discuss, she just gets a lot worse. Same as Kylo. In the Force Awakens, both these characters are very strong characters that are the pinnacle of what's they are. The story, you can tell, is building up to something around those two connecting. And the Force Awakens, the Force Awakens did an absolute cracking job of setting that up. Out of 10, I'd give the Force Awakens about an 8 or a 9. Very, very high praise.
Yeah, 7 or 8.
Right, The Last Jedi. Ah, Jesus.
5.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Let's start with the scores.
Where do I fucking start with that? What, 2? The Last Jedi was fucking atrocious. Even for someone that doesn't follow the laws, at least for me, right? Everyone has. Let me get this straight. Everyone has their own fucking opinion, right? Okay, if you don't agree with mine, that's fine. Whatever. I don't care. But don't be a whiny little bitch and shout off in the comments. You didn't like the film. You don't get it. I don't care, right?
You've universally agreed that Last Jedi isn't.
Yeah, but I know some people might agree, but. Yeah, no. Last
name and shame.
But no, I think this is interesting. I think it's good to get that kind of conversation going. Just to quickly answer, Plague X, have you played COD? I own the newest COD, and it's shit. Sorry to disappoint you.
That's one viewer lost there.
But it broke my heart when I played that game. The campaign's good, multiplayer is meh, and then Warzone is just complete shit. But then so is every fucking Battle Royale game. Personally, in my opinion, I apologise if if I've upset you.
Don't apologise.
Please don't hate me. But yeah, no. I stand by that comment. Fucking Battle Royale suck. But yeah, no. Last Jedi. What was your kind of, when you watched it, what was kind of your view and take on it? As a Star Wars fan,
with a bunch of friends who are way more into the originals. And they didn't like it. I found in moments I liked in it. I thought it was generally too long as a film, and I thought it was all over the place, jumbled.
Yeah.
Lacking direction.
Definitely.
There were parts I liked. The whole Snoke battle scene and stuff, that was good. And Snoke as a character, not great either.
Yeah.
A lot of the visual imagery I liked as well, like Crate, that place with the red kind of misty smoke thing. The Salt Planet. That was really cool. I found the any kind of Star Wars setting is always pretty cool for me.
Yeah.
But
I could agree.
Yeah, story was very jumbled.
Yeah, you could definitely tell 2 directors had worked on that film.
Yeah, and Snoke was not a good payoff from the first film. It's like setting everything up in the first film and not paying it enough respect. In the second and third one.
No, absolutely. I could agree with you on the settings. The Red Planet was absolutely gorgeous. It was a very clever way as well of making the film come across as more violent and gruesome. Because there was no blood. Obviously, Star Wars is known for not knowing, for not having blood, that kind of thing. But when they skid on the planet and seeing that red mist and stuff, it gives it that very sort of push to a more adult, I guess, kind of setting.
It's just kind of like a unique kind of setting you wouldn't really think of. Something,
especially for Star Wars.
They've done well with adding it to the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
I've got to give some praise where it's due.
Yeah, no, look, I will happily hold my hands up and say that the setting and the places in that film are
John
good.
Williams' music as well, so also can't be faulted.
The music and the setting, that is about all I liked in that film.
Some of the imagery.
Kylo... Jesus, I mean... Oh, go on, you were about to say your thing. Go on.
I was going to talk about Phasma, but you might as well talk
about...
No,
go on. Actually, that is something that I want to discuss, so actually, yeah, go on. Go for it.
Phasma was in the film for about 5 minutes. After the kind of build-up of the first one, you were expecting this great battle between officer and recruit,
Across
kind of...
all these films, she has a total of about 5 minutes screen time.
Yeah.
All 3 films, ridiculous. 5 minutes.
She was like an icon for like feminism and stuff like that.
She was so underused, I would rather reuse a condom. Like, she was criminally underused. She could have been such a fierce and scary character. Like, the setup for her in the first one, the idea that she was kind of... Because, alright, according to JJ, he had a completely different idea of what he wanted for The Last Jedi. As we will find out with the return of, or the rise of Skywalker. But, no, I mean... Jesus, I
almost thought they'd bring Phasma back for the third one, because, she's fell down the garbage chute, she's fell down a ferry.
Yeah, she's fell down everything, and I'm not being funny. Clearly the fucking, Emperor survived worse. So, But, no, Last Jedi was criminally disappointing. Kylo just became a screaming baby for the film. Yeah. Same as Rey. Snoke was not scary.
To Luke as well.
Oh, Jesus Christ. The fact he threw his saber... Actually, and this is true, Mark Hamill disagreed with that. He did not want that scene in the film. He didn't want Luke to throw away that lightsaber. He thought it was stupid and ridiculous. That's why any scene you see Mark Hamill in The Last Jedi, he looks fucking miserable. He's not happy on that set. He is not happy.
Yeah.
Just
drinking the green milk, he turned into like kind of weird.
Yeah.
He had the Sarah Connor treatment.
Yeah, no, literally, they basically took a character and basically just went, we'll have you back in here just because you're well known.
You're an old crazy fool now.
Yeah, which I think is just fucking stupid. They could have done so much, and again, I'm not a huge lore nut of Star Wars, but they could have done so much more with Luke.
My friends who I watched that with, they were offended at what they did to Luke, because he's obviously the main character of the originals.
I like the idea of him going away, leaving because he has kind of given up on the Force, because he has no more connection to it. He can't understand it. He can't quite get his head around it. I get that. That is a very good setup for him. How he acts, his attitude, the fact that Rey went straight to the dark side, how the fuck would he know that? How would he know that? He's not connected to the Force. It's already been said. That's just the first of many fucking trivial bullshit things that are thrown in this film. It doesn't make sense.
What do you think about? Oh yeah, I think you already said about Kylo.
Kylo,
kind of a moaning child.
He just got worse as well. I know JJ tried to fix him and Rey in The Rise of Skywalker, and like I said, we'll get to that, but he didn't. Fucking such a piss poor scene. No, I mean, why? It doesn't make sense. Like, he suddenly, he agreed with Rey, so he sided with her. They defeated Snoke, and then what? He's still evil.
No, I think it's like that whole wanting more power. He wanted to be the supreme leader.
Yeah, but he doesn't come across like that. He comes across like a fucking know-it-all. Like a child that thinks they know it all. And it's like, okay, I could see him turning on Snoke to gain more power, but it makes no sense why he's kept Rey alive. At all. He wants her to work with him. Okay. Why? He has no reason to. And the same, like,
he loves her.
Yeah, well, but that's the problem. There was no fucking build-up for that in the last film. So this love that he has for her has come from fucking nowhere.
From having this kind of dyad in the Force, like this connection.
Yeah, and that's another fucking stupid thing. When they're on that the dust planet with the parade and everything going on, that he just reaches through and stuff can suddenly travel through the fucking Force. What?
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's where you are. You're on my ship because Granddaddy's face has arrived. Like,
there's been quite a lot of new additions to like what Force users can do now.
Oh
now
God!
They can heal each other.
Oh, we're gonna fucking get to that shit. We're gonna get to that shit.
Now they can heal each other. Now they can teleport things.
Fucking no. Rey is clearly an unstoppable force, right? She can do everything. We'll get to that shit. But yeah, no. Criminally underused characters, disappointing dialogue, confusing storyline.
Yeah.
Ryan, what the fuck was Ryan doing to the cat? Like, why? I can't understand if he thought that was a good idea. I mean, Finn has literally no connection to Rey in this one,
Finn and Rose. Oh god.
Oh, golf. That shouldn't have been a thing. Why? Like, yes, okay, have Rose be a character. Absolutely. I actually kind of think her character's kind of sweet. I think she's kind of adorable. But why?
She got a lot of trolling online for some reason.
Why is Finn having a romantic relationship hinted with her when the entire first film set up this entire romantic plotline between him and Rey? Why? Has he just gone, nah, fuck it, she's left now, she's off doing whatever the fuck she wants to do, I'm just gonna move on, because, that's how we work in this world, nothing makes sense, lol. So, I don't know, yeah, no, disappointing film, didn't like the script, didn't like the characters, Ryan ruined it, sorry, Fuck off. Okay. Rise of Skywalker.
Okay. Started off quite well.
Okay. JJ fixing the helmet for Kylo Ren. The fact that that even had to be done is disgraceful. I definitely think they tried to set Kylo Ren up to be basically from the first film to be the new Darth Vader.
There was
he was
no
meant
kind of
to be
sense of villainy from him, really.
Yeah, no. He was so back and forth all the time. And then even worse in this film, him and Rey. 90% of their dialogue is screaming. And Jesus Christ, does it get jarring quickly. Like, I'll be honest, I think halfway through this film, I ended up just going on my phone and my laptop. I couldn't be arsed anymore. I did watch it to the end. Fuck off with the kiss. That's just not even a thing. That shouldn't be a thing. It shouldn't have happened. It makes no bloody sense. It's just shoehorned in because some fans were like, oh, we want them to get together. You're an idiot.
Obviously, one of the main things of the film was them bringing the Emperor back, which has got a lot of fans going.
I mean, okay, right.
He was pulling the strings all along, basically.
Stupid. Sorry.
Which he always has been doing.
Fucking stupid. He was dead. I'm sorry. If you were going to bring him back, what they should have done... Right, if they wanted to bring the Emperor back, they should have been hints of that in The Force Awakens. In the first film, they should have hinted that a big enemy is still behind the scenes and whatnot. The second film then should have introduced him in the end and given an explanation as to how he survived. Where did his story go? When he fell down, got thrown down that shaft, how did he stay alive? How did he live?
There is actually an explanation for that in the novelization of the film.
I know George Lucas said that in the film he was dead. He said it himself. He went, no, he shouldn't be alive.
Apparently the Emperor was a clone in Rise of Skywalker. He'd prepared this vessel long before Vader betrayed him.
Which I guess makes sense considering he made a clone of Snoke. But then, do you know what doesn't make sense? Snoke. The fuck? He wasn't that intimidating in the second film. He force lightninged one person once and lifted Rey up in the air and made her scream. That's it. He couldn't even... His force powers were so weak, he couldn't even tell that a lightsaber right next to him was being turned.
Yeah. Yeah, Snoke was a bit of a... Obviously, he's just kind of a puppet.
Like, but they built him up to be this powerful being, and it was like... Okay, you've just dropped all of that, mate. For the first two films, technically the villain in the first two films is completely fucking pointless now. Means nothing. And the Emperor being back and Rey finding out she's related to him. Your thoughts?
Wasn't a fan of the whole granddaughter of Palpatine.
Well, it makes no sense. How? You know...
Obviously must have got busy at some point.
Oh, I mean...
A lot of people were disturbed by it.
Even if they'd made it like a genetic thing. Okay, I could see that.
But this is why she always has these visions.
Yeah, the Force lightning suddenly coming into it. The Force healing. So basically, she is a lead protagonist that is female that they wanted to make unstoppable. This brings the audience out of it because we now no longer have nothing to worry about. She's unstoppable.
Captain Marvel of the Star Wars universe.
I'm not even going to talk about Brie Larson and Captain Marvel because both of them are shit. Yes, I'm talking about Brie Larson. Fuck off. Anyone that likes Brie Larson is clearly an arse. No one of the cast likes her. It's because I don't like them. I'm very passionate about this shit. Right. Right, okay, with Rise of Skywalker, I would give it this much. JJ did his best with what he had. I think he was fixing... Yeah, he was fixing a lot from the second film. He had a completely different look, apparently, for how this trilogy was meant to go. Which I do kind of feel for him in that sense, because I can't imagine having like an idea of what you want to create and then it's just basically taken from you.
Yeah, things have changed out of your control.
Yeah, literally. Apparently Kylo Ren wasn't meant to be a screaming little whingy bitch. He was actually meant to be a very intimidating force. I would have loved to have seen that. I think it would have been a great new enemy to kind of have for the characters. But yeah, unfortunately we didn't.
No Vader.
No. Instead, we got a whiny little bitch baby that literally could have killed Rey multiple times. That's the problem I have. If he was meant to be dark and evil, why did he wait?
Because they had this fourth connection.
It's complete bollocks.
In the end, it turns out they, wanted to revive each other and kiss.
Oh, that fucking kiss, man. I mean, I know that's one of the most controversial points of that that entire film. I know a lot of people were quite pissed off by that kiss, and I'm not even a huge fan of like the material and stuff, but Jesus, I can understand why. It seemed like such a waste. Like, again,
I wasn't a fan of it.
Finn was made a comical idiot through these entire films.
And his relationship with Rose that they tried to build up in the second one is completely gone to waste.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Then they tried to kind of hint at the Rey thing again, but he didn't end up saying it or something.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
it's like, I've got something to tell you.
Yeah, we fell through the... And, no, I'm not going to lie. That was the moment I stopped caring about the film. When I heard, I've got something to tell you, I went, oh, don't you fucking dare. Don't you dare.
Never mind.
Don't you fucking dare. Never mind. Oh, goth.
Some people are speculating he's a Force user as well. So.
Well, that's what they hinted at in the first one as well, wasn't it? When he wielded the lightsaber. And, okay, he wasn't very good with it, and he got his ass kicked. But he tried, and to be fair, he held his own for a set amount of time. And I think that was something that JJ actually pointed out. He said the original idea was to have Rey, be the lead, but then have this other character, Finn.
It made more sense if Finn and Rey had died in the Force.
Yeah, exactly.
Connection, that's why Finn would have turned from the Stormtrooper and felt this connection.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I think that was completely wasted, which is a massive shame because there was so much
Finn not being a supreme leader of a villainous, complete opposite of what Rey is.
Yeah, I just don't get it. And then Luke. Right, okay, what was your view on Luke in this film? Because obviously he is different.
He was a Force ghost.
Yeah. Because obviously
they tried to make him the whole Yoda, master, bringing the ship out of the water and stuff. Callback.
Did you like?
He's no Yoda.
Did you like the low blow that JJ had at Ryan in it when Luke admitted he was wrong? Basically, making the second film completely bollocks for Luke. Everything about him in that film, and obviously they shoehorned the lightsaber grab.
Yeah, they made Luke more of what he was supposed to be in this film, rather than
which is a shame. He should have been that in the Last Jedi. So much potential. I think that's what's so frustrating about this trilogy is that there was so much potential that
the world is that oyster of Star Wars.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was just completely thrown out the window. Basically, they just
went. Thank God for the TV series in Mandalorian. Maybe they can correct some stuff.
Right, yeah. Let's go on to something nicer. First rate. What would you rate the third film out of 10?
7.
7, really?
Force Awakens, yeah. I enjoyed some of the imagery a bit more.
And, okay, fair enough.
I gave Force Awakens 8, and then Last Jedi 5, and then Rise of Skywalker's 10.
Okay, so I give Force Awakens an 8. I give Last Jedi as a 2. And that's because I'm being generous. And then I would say Rise of Skywalker could have 4. It's still not great. The visuals are really lovely. The music is really good. I appreciate that JJ tried to fix some of the stuff, but it doesn't work. So, but yes, on to the Mandalorian. Now I still have 6 episodes to watch. I'm still not in watch them. I'm going to kick myself up the arse and watch them tonight. But definitely a very, very enjoyable.
It's the quite short episodes, and it's enough, isn't it?
Yeah. It's definitely enjoyable. What was your kind of view on it? I know, obviously, spoilers and stuff are a bit harder with this one.
Yeah, I've watched the whole thing. I really enjoyed all of it, basically. I think there's a bit of a lull at some point, but it gets back soon enough. I mean, they've got to focus on world building and stuff. For some of it. So it was kind of like a short, sweet kind of, I don't know how to describe it. It's a snippet into a better Star Wars that we haven't seen recently.
Yeah, I'm glad they have said they are going to do a second season.
Oh yeah, apparently there's all sorts of rumours about that one.
That it has apparently been confirmed now as well that a second season will be in the works once all this pandemic is over and people can go back to living their life and stuff. Yeah, no, I absolutely love it. So far, it's been absolutely astonishing.
Characters are really well built.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The guy that plays the Mandalorian,
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, absolutely, very, very good, very, very charming. He works very well in the role, even though he always has a helmet. But I think that's kind of.
You've only seen 2 episodes.
Yeah, I think it works. I think it really works. And Baby Yoda is the most adorable thing that I've ever seen. So, yeah.
Now you know why all the hype was about Baby Yoda.
Yeah, now I get it. Yeah, no, very, very good, very enjoyable.
He steals the scene every time he's in it. I should say.
Yeah,
it doesn't have a gender.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I'm really, really loving it so far. So, unfortunately, not much we can say on that, but we'll talk about that more next week. I will get the series finished so we can actually really dive into that one.
Yeah.
Next week.
Defo. Wow, we've been quite a while. I think we've not covered that much because we talked so much about
the lockdown was a big part of this one. Anything else in films and TV? I know X-Plague, you asked if we've seen Extraction. Yep. Seen it? Very good film.
Yeah, go back and watch our last podcast. We talked about it.
We're on there. Just to give a brief overview, I guess. Fun, lots of action. Chris Hemsworth is really good. Good brain turn offer. Very good brain turn offer. So, yeah, absolutely enjoyable. Loved the film. Very, very good. My favourite line is "Piss off, slaps kid." Yeah, brilliant.
I liked the kind of escape scene through the apartment block.
And the one take, one kind of like, it's done in 12 shots apparently, but that scene that looks like one take, insane.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Very well done. Right, let's have a look at some of these comics, shall we? Shaggy put, Satisfactory is aiming to have its Steam release sometime this month. Ooh. Have you heard anything on Satisfactory at all? Do you know what it is?
No.
Okay. Brief rundown. It's kind of like you build your own kind of base and manufacture stuff, so like metals and steels and it's kind of like a simulation game in that sense, but very futuristic kind of and stuff. Yeah, it's not my kind of thing either, I'll be honest. But from what I have seen of it, and I've obviously seen Shaggy playing it and little bits and bobs here and there, it does look like a very fun game. It looks enjoyable. It definitely feels like, to me at least, a game that I would rather play with friends instead of on my own.
It has multiplayer aspect.
Yeah,
it's better. It gets more points for that.
Yeah, definitely a game to keep an eye on, I would say. Maybe not the best thing in the world, but definitely one to keep an eye on, as it's definitely
it's got
sure to improve.
Very popular on PC and stuff.
Oh yeah, well it's on. I think it's only on PC right now. So, well, maybe one day they'll bring it out on consoles and stuff. I can't see it working very well on consoles, but who knows?
They have The Sims and what's the new one? I don't know. They have other ones kind of similar on consoles, so it's not unheard of.
Indeed.
But, it's whether it's intuitive or
not. X-Plague also said, "Oh no, I love it. I only play the Pro League playlist, so I'm chilling." Fair enough, my dude. If you like the game, absolutely fair enough. More power to you. This is about COD. I'm personally not the biggest fan of it. I like zombies, and that's probably about it now these days with the Call of Duty series. They kind of got old. And then Shaggy put the Star Killer was cooler. Lamau.
Yeah, that's the thing about the settings and the planets that they made. That's all top notch. You can't really fault that.
Yeah, the Star Killer was definitely an interesting take. I'll be honest. It was definitely a lot more fun and enjoyable to watch. I think it worked a lot better as well. It was definitely a way of updating kind of the fear factor of the bad guys, I guess. But yeah, try not to focus too much on Star Wars because I may lose my shit again. Okay, on to another film, Gemini Man. Have you seen that yet? With Will Smith.
I haven't.
Very good film. I highly recommend it. It did get a lot of shit, but I actually think it was really bloody good. I think it
is that the one where his son's in it, or is it?
No, Gemini Man is his younger self. The entire film is Will Smith, basically. It's being chased by his younger self.
I thought it was two of him, kind of.
Yeah, it is. It's like a younger version of himself and also his older self.
Yeah, I remember watching the trailers, but obviously there's After Earth as well, which is him and his Yes, I think.
That film is fucking awful.
I
Jaden
get
couldn't.
confused.
I'm glad that Jaden is not an actor because he can't act for shit.
Fair enough. I haven't seen that
No
either.
offense to Jaden, of course, but he can't act for shit. There's a reason he didn't pursue acting. Yeah.
After that.
Yeah, he just went,
His-
nah, I
his
think
dad
I'm out.
was like, maybe we should go to medical school.
Yeah, I'm not fucking doing another film.
I want to
with
go
you.
to acting school. No.
I'm not doing another film with you, you little cretin.
You're grounded for a year.
Fucked my fucking cool streak up. Yeah.
You've robbed me of an Oscar.
You bastard. Yeah, no, absolutely not the best, but yeah, shame, but it could have been so. But definitely Gemini Man, I would say, is definitely a fun, action-packed one to watch. There are some kind of plot points that don't really make much sense and whatever, but it's not so much one you want to watch for like a super integrated story. It's more kind of just go in there, enjoy it. The girl from the new Birds of Prey film who plays Huntress is in it. She's actually very good in the film. I actually really like her. So yeah, no, very good film. Would definitely recommend that. Another one I had was Terminator: Dark Fate.
Oh yeah,
Have you seen that?
I have. Yes.
Yeah. What was your take on it? Out of curiosity.
That one wasn't the best one. They tried to bring Arnie back and the original Terminator. I don't really like what they've done with the story kind of similar kind of thing to Star Wars. Not really a massive fan of the story. Some of the fight scenes and stuff was cool, and the new Terminator was all right as a kind of imagery thing, but
it wasn't great. And
it's all a bit kind of meh.
Yeah, I'll preference this by saying I am a huge fan of Terminator, so I really wanted to love this film. I really did. But no, it's not good. They basically throw all the lore that they've built up over the first two films, which, if you have not watched them, what are you doing with your life? Go and watch them. They are incredible.
Basically said the second one didn't exist.
Yeah, the second one didn't exist, but the first one did exist, except for the fact that none of it makes sense because Kyle Reese isn't even mentioned. Or brought up. Apparently she by the way, spoilers, if you haven't watched it and you want to, fuck off. Don't listen. God, you'll get it spoiled. I can't help it, it's just my vocabulary. Swearing's a bad vocabulary. It's a bad vocabulary. Oh, that is tripe. That's poppycock. Yeah, no. Definitely had a good idea. I liked the idea that they killed John Connor off in the beginning because I think that's an interesting. I actually thought that was an interesting take on it. You know, they could have done a lot with that. You know,
I thought it started off well with the whole like time, go back in time kind of thing, and then it's like, oh, that never happened. Oh, what?
Yeah. Well, I liked that for a little bit, and then after about 5 minutes. I absolutely hated every second of it. If you're watching it as just an action film, you'll probably have a great time with it. You won't understand any of the references or the characters or the reasoning behind stuff, but you'll have a good time with the action scenes. The female-led Terminator, well, not Terminator, technically she's just an advanced human.
She was...
I'll be honest. Yeah, bland. I'll be honest. Can't emote for shit. She was worse than Kristen Stewart in Twilight. I think bad casting choice. I've seen that actress and some of the stuff she's done.
I guess she's supposed to be kind of wooden and stuff because she's like a humanoid thing.
But she's not. She's human, isn't she? They even said it. She even said it herself. She's like, "No, I'm human." She says it all the time. She's like, "I'm not a Terminator."
Arnie was human as well.
Oh god, that don't even. Like, I don't know.
I have a wife now.
she is a good actress, right? She was in Blade Runner 2049. She did The Martian with Matt Damon. Yeah. You know, she was in What If, An Awkward Moment. She's done some fantastic films. But she was badly cast for this role. Like, she looked ridiculous standing next to the younger girl, who obviously is meant to be John in this film, which is... Oh, that angered me so much. I think her name is Natalie Rise. Reese, standing next to her and Linda Hamilton. She looks fucking ridiculous. She's
I don't mean to be like non-PC or something, but it seems like they ticked a lot of boxes in this film. Like
feminist,
we have to have
feminist. It was basically a feminist film. Or what? I don't even like that word anymore, because just call it equality. That's what it fucking is. It doesn't need to be called feminist, because in itself, feminism. Calling it feminism is more female. It's not equal. Stupid.
Seem like, we have to have everything different now,
Yeah, exactly.
Turn everything on its head.
Don't get me wrong, a female lead thing can be absolutely astonishing. I have seen many films with lead females that I absolutely love and think are absolutely
Alien,
brilliant. But exactly. I mean, Christ, Alien is a classic. But yeah, no, Terminator Dark Fate seemed to miss the mark on what makes Terminator so special. Like, for instance, Arnie's Terminator suddenly getting a conscience. Well, that makes no sense, because he had the same chip when he shot John. So technically, since Skynet isn't even a thing in this film, it's now Legion.
He accomplished his mission, like, he suddenly has a conscience.
Shouldn't he be broken? Because Skynet's no longer around, so his circuit board shouldn't work. Why? Like, that's already one big thing. This Legion bullshit as well. My God. Oh, it's now Legion. Oh, wait, she's not going to birth the child. She is John. Hold on, wait. So you're telling me you got rid of Skynet. That's gone because John was killed. Whatever. So now Legion's a thing, and she's suddenly... So what, if she gets killed, are they just going to make a brand new Resistance and a brand new fucking, robot species? I don't even know. It's
like beating a dead horse with it now.
Yeah, it's like, I think they should probably just let the Terminator franchise lay to rest. Don't do another one. Let it die. I think even Linda Hamilton and Arnold Schwarzenegger said themselves, after like all the press stuff was over and their contracts were up, even they said themselves they were not impressed with this film. And they were disappointed by it.
What the hell did they do to Sarah Connor?
Right, okay, I'm going to say this now. Linda Hamilton, badass motherfucker. Like, Jesus Christ, she is badass. It looks a bit fucking ridiculous when she's walking along with an automatic shotgun at her age. Not saying that someone of her age cannot. Right, let me get this straight. I am not saying that someone of her age cannot be badass, right? At all. Not at all. What I am saying is there is a certain way to do it. And they did it fucking horribly in this. Oh Christ, don't even get me started on when she went, I'll be back. Fuck off. Fuck off. It's like that is an iconic line.
What I wanted to do to her.
And she was just like, I'll be back. It was like she was saying, I'll be back in a moment, don't mind me. It's like, oh, come on, why? There was so much potential.
He's basically turned into alcoholic Terminator.
Yeah, well, I will say this much. I did have a little bit of like butterfly stomach and kind of happiness seeing Linda Hamilton and Arnold on the same screen. But then after after like about a second of nostalgia, it hit home that this is not going to be the same film.
Because rely on these days too much. I think nostalgia is carry the whole thing.
Absolutely, yeah. And having older actors who are from that franchise from the past come back.
Who have no interest in it anymore.
Yeah. I'm not being funny. Arnold has had multiple heart surgeries. He did not look in shape or happy to be there. I know he's a Terminator, but he didn't even act.
He was still the best part of the film.
He looked like, this is the thing. He was the best part of the film, yet he looked tired, bored, and like he didn't want to be there. It was
probably got a very handsome paycheck for this.
Oh Christ, yeah! Can you imagine? Him and Linda, they probably had huge figures on those paychecks, because otherwise I cannot have seen them coming back.
That's why they lost the budget for the rest of the actors.
Oh, I know. Lord knows that. The final boss fight of the film as well. Cool. Okay. We've seen that kind of shit before. And then the biggest thing of all, the biggest punch in the bollocks for me out of that entire film, which was basically like the film, basically the writers and everything going, we know we just screwed up the first and second film and this entire like history and lore of this film, so go fuck yourself. The final two words that Arnold says before his Terminator gets destroyed. For John.
Poor John.
I'm not even going to say it, but you know what I want to say. We'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. So yeah, no, please just end the Terminator franchise there. Don't do it again. If you want to watch it as like an action film. If you're a fan of the other films, you are just not going to enjoy the films. They're not good. And Terminator Genesis. Terminator Genesis had more fucking heart than this film. And that film was disgraceful. Nothing against
it as well, didn't it?
Yeah, nothing against the actors in Terminator Genesis. Again, they did the best with what they had, but that, oh Christ, just no. Dark Fate was not good, and it shouldn't have been a thing that was greenlit at all.
Yeah, you got to milk the cash cow.
Yeah,
somehow.
no, ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, no. Yeah.
Anything
films
from the chat?
Anything you guys want us to talk about? We'll give it 5 minutes. So if there's anything you guys want us to talk about, chime off in the comments and the chat. Just let us go nuts. If you've got anything you want us to put our 2 cents on, let us know. And again,
coffee's now 2 hours old.
Oh god, I've drunk all my tea. I really need a pee. Drunk all my tea, drunk my glass of water. Still dehydrated. It's so warm. Like, it's mad. I don't know why it's so... I think in my house, it's fucking ridiculous. The upstairs is like about 10 degrees hotter than downstairs.
Your PlayStation contributes to that, I think.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
It's
well,
just
you
like,
can hear
I'm going to warm up your house.
in the background.
You don't need central heating. You just need to play a intense game on your PlayStation.
Yeah, mad. Robin said, "Well, I'm heading off to have dinner, so I have to leave you guys." That's fine, Robin. We're done now anyway. Like I said, we're gonna have 5 minutes to let people give us suggestions to talk about stuff if you want to. But if not, that's fine. Yes, goodbye, Robin. But thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you.
It's always fun. Glad. I hope people have enjoyed this one. It's definitely been a longer one. This is probably the longest one we've done, actually.
Yeah.
Definitely exactly 2 hours long for the actual podcast, and then we had the 10-minute opening. So, the longest one that we've done, but fun. I think we had a lot to talk about in regards to lockdown this time, so that kind of helped us.
There'll be a lot to talk about next week, isn't it?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, especially with Boris Johnson's obviously his thing
I'm
at
looking forward to having seen how
7
he
PM.
messes up tonight.
Yeah, 7 p.m. Vic asked, "Where's my soul?" You don't
Where's
have
my
one.
popcorn?
You don't have one. You never did. It's fine. I say that all the time.
I'm sure you've got one somewhere.
Yeah, she has got a soul. She just pretends she doesn't.
Just on vacation at the moment.
She's got a heart of gold, that girl.
How's
yeah.
the quiz, Camilla?
Yeah. Well, I think
think
she's done it. Yeah, I think she has actually done it. Because obviously she had the other quiz, didn't she? Can I get one? You have one. Stop it. Yeah. No. Any other things that you wanted to discuss at all? No. I need to get off. Christ, this has gone on too long.
Says no. But my body is telling me no.
My body's telling me yes. Baby, I don't want to hurt nobody. I bought a Wildland Millionaire. Nice. I bought a new
Just
vehicle.
spare anyone of James's singing, I think we'll end it soon.
Yes. But yeah, thank you to anyone that has been listening to this on Spotify. It's always appreciated. Thank you very much for doing so. Thank you to anyone that watched live, and thank you obviously to Sean for joining in. Jack the Ripper was a woman. I'll tell you what, in the next one, we'll talk about some conspiracies and stuff. I'll look up into some things and maybe we'll talk about a few. Yeah, might be something new to interject into it. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you again for watching. Thank you to Vic for being a part of the stream. Thank you to Shaggy. Thank you to X-Plague for joining us as well. Thank you. Nice to see you again. It's been a while since you've been in. Thank you to Robin for being a part of it while you were in here. And the biggest part to anyone else that was not in the chat but did watch. Thank you very, very much. And thank you very much to Sean for joining me for this. Thank you, Sean. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and we will catch you next Sunday for the next podcast episode. So yeah, and it'd be good. Hopefully, there might be a stream during the week. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. But yeah, catch you guys soon, and thank you again.
Catch you later.
Bye bye.